The TOZO Golden X1 is finally here. This long-awaited product is hitting the market with a ton of features that on paper make this look like potentially one of the best under 200. In this video I will be reviewing the pros and the cons of this product, and I'll be letting you know whether I think these guys have been worth the wait. With all that said, let's get straight into it. Please do hit that like button if you enjoyed the video today, and if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos coming soon. So let's get into it. As you can see, we have got a nice black branded box from TOZO, and straight away you can see on the front we have got some very impressive specifications, and we'll be going into that in full detail in just a little while. Opening up the box, and to be honest, it's fairly standard when it comes to TOZO, but you know, the colour scheme makes it look a little bit more premium. We have got the usual paperwork inside, get that out of the way. TOZO, so originally these were called the X1, but the Golden X1 is the current name on this product. So let's have a look inside. Obviously we've got the earbuds themselves, and we have got 6 sizes of ear tips, which is good to see. As always, please do make sure you try out all the different sizes until you get a good seal and you're happy with the sound quality. We have got a USB-C charging cable inside, but these also charge wirelessly as well, so great to see. Good stuff from TOZO. And here we have it. So as you can see, we have got a fairly standard matte black plastic finish on the case. I'd be a little bit concerned about the longevity of this. Doesn't feel like the highest quality build. However, we do have quite a nice digital readout there, so you can see what your battery life is. These, you know, I've seen products looking quite cheap, but this does it quite nicely. It's quite smart. Don't mind that at all. And then obviously just inside there we have got a nice little bit of detail around the nulls, balanced armature, the LDAC and the high red logos there. Nice little touch. And then we have got the buds themselves, of course. So as you can see, they are a bud style with a very slight stem. I really like the design. They are comfortable. As you can see, I have got a set of the SpinFits installed on. So these are the CP1025s. And to be honest, the tips provided in the box are fine. You know, I found those comfortable, but I'm just getting a slight improvement in sound quality with the SpinFits. Obviously owing to that silicone material. Always advise that. The CP360s are fine on these as well, but overall the 1025s just gave me a little bit more security when wearing. So like you can see, very nice design. Kind of semi-deep in terms of the fit. You can see there. But yeah, these just sit in your ear nicely. No fatigue whatsoever. So let's talk about the specs then. So like I said, we've been waiting for this product for some time, and when I saw the specifications, to be honest, I was impressed. So we have got obviously a dual dynamic driver hybrid setup. And as you can see, we have got a 12mm dynamic driver paired with a balanced armature, so that's your Knowles balanced armature, and we've seen that in numerous earbuds now. But you know, this is what we want. This is, you know, hopefully going to give us the sound that we're looking for. Balanced dual drivers, you know, tends to be, in my experience, giving us the best sound quality within earbuds. So we have got high-res audio, as I said, so LDACs on board, as well as AAC and SBC. We have got Orange X high-quality sound. So basically, again, as you can see on the box here, this is giving us a wider frequency range. So in the words of the marketing there, the exclusive sound technology developed by TOZO's acoustic experts, achieving the golden frequency response curve in line with the characteristics of the human ear canal with an original lossless sound effect. So what the paperwork says on this is that Orange X is basically giving us a wider frequency range, supporting 12 Hertz to 44.1 kilohertz. So basically, you're getting a wider frequency range, which should then improve the sound quality. And I've not seen that on any pairs before. So obviously when we talk about the sound, we'll see what impact that's having. We have obviously got ANC and transparency. So again, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. We've got a decent battery life, and that's going to be 8 hours on the buds and 32 with the case. As I said, the charging case has got that quite nice LED display, so that's dead useful because you can obviously see how much juice is left in the bank. We have got the TOZO app, which we're going to have a look at in a minute, and that's giving us some good customization. We've got Bluetooth 5.3, and finally we have got, as I've said, a nice design, ergonomic design, which I think is giving us really, comfortable pair of buds. Long listening sessions are more than possible with these, and I think they look all right as well. I don't mind the little stem there. That's going to be giving you pretty much an improved microphone performance because that just gets that mic a little bit closer to your ears. So good stuff overall. Very, very good spec sheet there. Like I said, on paper, these are some of the best. These are some of the best specifications I've seen in any pair under 200. And the question is, how do they perform? But let's have a look at the app. So here we go. So we're going to have a look at the app now. Now, TOZO is a company who, to be fair, have not had any app support for some time. So they've come in, I think, with quite a well-developed app, actually. It's been around for a little while, but this is impressive. So we've got straight away, we've got a hearing test. So this is a little bit like what we've seen with the likes of Soundcore, certainly with One More as well. So I did go through that process, and the result was quite pleasing. So I did get an EQ that I was happy with, and then you've got the ability to turn it on or off. And then in addition to that, we have got a customizable equalizer with 16 presets, and I've kind of made my own there, which is a bit of a W shape in terms of the sound stage. So we've got a bit of an increase in the bass, a little bump in the mids, and then some nice treble on the top side. We'll talk about the sound signature in just a minute, but within that we've got different modes of operation. You've got your ANC, you've got your transparency mode, you've got your, let's just take those out because it's not liking that. So you've got your wind noise reduction as well, which works fine. Leisure mode basically is a light ANC, and it gives you the ability to toggle that, which is pretty cool. You've got normal mode in there as well. And then jumping into the settings, you've got fully customizable touch controls. So these are really responsive on the bud. Like I said, left and right, so you can basically get everything loaded in. Volume control, voice assistant, toggling the ANC modes, etc. So that's all working really well. You've got the ability to update your firmware as well, and the other thing in here is multi-point. So we have got multi-point supported. Essentially, it's not kind of covered particularly well in the literature, but multi-point is supported. I have had it working, but unfortunately, this is kind of the first drawback really. The multi-point isn't perfect. So my experience so far is that, so we have got it. I've got it in the full manual. So my experience, unfortunately, with multi-point is that it works fine. So I've had 2 devices connected at once, but then when I've gone over to, so I've started on the iPhone, and when I've gone over to my Android device, it's basically the volume's just gone very low. The app wasn't loading up on the second device, so there's a little bit of work to do, I think, here, just to get this mode functioning as seamlessly as we want. We've seen it on other products, and it's been done really well, and you can switch seamlessly, and that's what it's about. So first point just to be aware of around the multi-point, it is there. Perhaps it can be improved in a firmware update. But like I said, the big question with these is about the performance. So the ANC is advertised to be reducing up to 42 decibels. It works really well. It's excellent. It does a great job. One of the better ANC implementations that I have experienced on budget earbuds. Transparency mode again is really good, nice and clear. You can hear your surroundings, no problems at all. And then obviously I've talked about the wind noise reduction as well, but then there's an issue again here because the soundstage changes. There is an EQ shift depending on what mode you're in. So talking about the sound, obviously I've gone in, I've done the hearing test initially, but essentially I'm settling on this kind of W tuning. These guys sound amazing. When you get them set up, they sound absolutely fantastic. I did have to do a bit of work out of the box. So out of the box, they're quite balanced, actually quite neutral in terms of the tuning. But I've gone in there, I've done the hearing test. That's kind of what woke them up. And then when I've sort of had a little go messing around with the EQ, I've got them sounding really, really good. However, the EQ shift here is so significant that it's almost impossible to change between one and another without then messing with the EQ again. So quite disappointing. This is something that I've raised directly with TOZO. I have flagged this up to them, and I hope that they do respond and possibly release a firmware update. We've seen it before on a number of other brands, and the issue has been fixed. It can be fixed, I believe. We've got the functionality in the app as well to get those over-the-air updates. So the sound signature, when you've got it in noise cancelling, for me, with this nice W-shaped tuning, they're sounding absolutely brilliant. So you've got a nice deep low end, some real nice sub bass extension. It's punchy, but it's kind of rolling off pretty quickly. You can sort of maximise that in the app if you want a bit more, but for me, in the noise cancellation setting, it was a nice focused sound. It was not particularly wide when it came to the soundstage, but there's lots of sparkle in the high ends. The Knowles balanced armature is in there working. You're getting some great detail. When you go into transparency mode, it kind of washes the bass right down. It widens the soundstage and it gives you even more detail. So for some people, this will be what they want, but for me, it's too much of a shift. It needs to be consistent. Okay, I can accept an EQ shift to a point with a budget earbud, but for something that's 150, going for the cost of these guys, it's going to be something that's going to, I think, cause you an issue. So just to be aware of. And then the wind noise reduction is almost the ideal setting. So that kind of widens the soundstage back out from the transparency along the lines of that transparency mode, but it gives us the bass back in. But the thing with the noise cancelling setting is you are getting that narrower soundstage. So win noise reduction is the setting to have. Like I said, it's not something that sits with me. You know, on a pair that's 150, I do think this is something that needs fixing. But don't get me wrong, these guys are sounding as good as any under 200 in my opinion, and that's kind of where I wanted to bring in some comparisons as well today. So we have got two other, for me, really good earbuds here under 200. We've got the Soundcore Liberty 4 and we've got the Soundpeats Opera 5. And really what I'm saying here is the TOZO are really able to match up with these guys. So they are, sound quality wise, when you've got them sounding good, when you've done that setup, when you've done the tweaks out of the box, they are sounding, you know, as good as these guys. So these are the Operas. These guys have got triple drivers essentially, so you've got 2 balanced armatures and 1 dynamic, and the only thing that the Operas are doing better is that kind of just that little slight improvement in detail and clarity, but these can get harsh. So the TOZOs, I've noticed, they're not really giving me that harshness, even with the treble boosted up in the EQ that I showed you. But the Opera 5s might be a little bit harsh for some people, but these are cheaper. What you're not getting is, you're not getting wireless charging, you're not getting an app that's as developed as the TOZO one, but you are getting a solid product here. You know, there's no EQ shift, or if there is, it's very minor. You know, the only probably drawback I'd say is the kind of the size, and some people are just not gonna kind of want to walk around with these in their ears, because they are chunky boys, you know. But they sound fantastic, they perform really well, and the ANC is very good as well. And then when it comes to the Soundcore Liberty 4, so for me this is probably still my favourite earbud under 200, based on the ones that I've tested and tried. Now the advantages of this over the TOZO are, number one, the app is much better, much more established, much more reliable as well. Across the board the performance is solid, and you're not going to get any issues at all with these. So some of the issues I talked about with the TOZO, Soundcore is a great example of a very reliable product. The brand and the line has been going for some time consistently. Year on year we're getting new releases, and they're getting better every year. The only thing to be aware of with the Liberty 4s is we've got a dual dynamic driver set up in here, so we haven't got the Knowles balanced armature, so it's a different sound signature, but probably a little bit more balanced actually than the TOZOs. But the EQ is in the app is probably the best on the market in my opinion. So if you want more bass, you can just dial that in. I prefer the design as well. So these are just sort of standard stem style, incredibly comfortable. They've got their own cloud ear tips now, which are, you know, they're rivaling the SpinFits for me. Just across the board, you know, really great performance. You've got your wireless charging, you've got your wind noise reduction, you've got some health settings in the app around, you know, health monitoring. It's a really comprehensive product here. And you know, at the moment these are actually cheaper than the TOZOs, so you know, I've got to recommend the Soundcore out of the 3 of them. But you know, TOZO are making a big statement here, so we have got a top end, you know, a flagship product here that with a few tweaks I think it can compete for a long time. It's exciting to see them bring this out, because previously TOZO focused very much on low-end budget earbuds. They've had some good products, you know, I do believe they've had some good products, but this is stepping it up to a whole new level. And with a few improvements, I think these guys are, you know, like I said, they're going to be some of the best earbuds of the year. So just bear in mind those kind of drawbacks, but you know, wait for the price to come down a bit as well, because at the moment 150 for me, with the issues, I think it's a little bit higher than it should be. Not 20% off that. I think these are an absolute brilliant bargain. The sound quality, like I say, it's so satisfying. It's rich, it's detailed, and it's really kind of bringing a new player into the market. But that's it, guys. That's going to be it for this review. This was the TOZO Golden X1. Really interesting product coming in. And you know, keep an eye on this, because if we get a firmware update, I really think that, you know, these guys are going to be the big boys of this year. But like I said, out of these three, I'd still go with the Soundcore for now, but great products overall. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to move now to the call quality samples for the TOZO Golden X1. This is a call quality test with the TOZO Golden X1 in a quiet environment. This is a call quality test with the TOZO Golden X1 in a noisy environment.